next generation, and what's happened instead is a bridge back to the previous administration. Donald Trump returning to the White House as 47th president. Watching the Vice President, Kamala Harris, leave as J.D. Vance and his wife watch. Of course, Martha Raddatz, Kamala Harris, tried to run that 107-day campaign, and we've never witnessed that in modern times either. It was a valiant effort, and it came up short.
He was no longer president, and having to listen to that speech, that repudiation, that long list of grievances, really, it not only sounded like a State of the Union speech to me, it sounded like a Trump rally. He was talking to his voters, those support him, and there are millions and millions and millions of those voters. But they're walking together there, both spouses holding hands, and there was that moment of unity afterwards when you saw them speak together.
And there was an exchange of smiles here a moment ago, and you have to wonder if there is any ounce of relief for Joe Biden too, that at least this chapter of being in the middle of it all is over.
I was just going to say, there's certainly relief that the speech is over.
The speech itself.
Yeah, I mean, to sit there, he did not look like a comfortable time to be sitting there through that speech and the kind of combination it was.
The First Lady's embracing there, arm around one another.
And did you notice that President Trump and Kamala Harris seemed to have quite a few words at the end there? I think it's the biggest exchange of words between the two of them since our debate.
Since the debate the day after at the 9/11 memorial down at Ground Zero, he extended his hand to the vice president, and I always thought that was a moment where they acknowledged that they both sort of gave it their all in that debate against each other, an unexpected moment, and a moment where he sort of signaled to her, and that was something last night.
It's something about Donald Trump. He can,
and he's back to serve a second time, and even on the campaign trail, you heard Donald Trump often say, "How dare they do this to Joe Biden?" And that was quite effective with some voters out there to play into that notion of Joe Biden was pushed out by his own party, and they're waiting now as Joe Biden leaves Washington with the First Lady,
Jill Biden reached out over and put her arm around Melania, and it seems that there is a big effort here, especially on the Democratic side, to underscore this enduring democracy and to say how different it was than the last time. We didn't have these pictures before because Donald Trump refused to come to the inauguration. He left early in the morning. He would not go over to the White House. And so he actually means something to people about enduring democracy.
Terry Moran, what do you think this moment it's impossible to know, but must feel like for a man who served Washington his whole adult life? He was obviously a very young man when he arrived there as a senator. He had just, lost his wife and his baby girl. His two sons survived, and then Jill Biden, he would later find, and she would be a mother to those two boys, and then they would have a daughter of their own. And now leaving Washington for the final time, at least in a political role.
Yeah, it's the end of a career that he gave to this country.
Byron Pitts, I know you're watching along with us, Nightline anchor Byron Pitts.
David, to pick up on Terry's thought, I look at this image and I think of the book of Ecclesiastes. There's a time for all seasons. This image reminds us the political season for Joe Biden is over, and it is a new season for Donald Trump. We're also reminded today, David, that elections have consequences. President Trump's speech, for many, was filled with hope. For others, it was filled with hammers. For Americans who believe that we should be colorblind, this was a good day. For Americans who believe America should be color brave, a difficult day. And David, during his speech, President Trump acknowledged Martin Luther King, who would be 96 years old today. And I think Dr. King is speaking to us on this day. In his final book, Where We Go From Here, Dr. King wrote, "We will err and falter as we climb the mountain's familiar slopes and steep peaks, There is no alternative. There will be agonizing setbacks along the way with creative advances. Our consolation is no one can know true taste of victory if he has never swallowed defeat. I think what Dr. King was telling us then is that in America,